Hey guys, my name is Sean Stewart. I'm an animator. I make video games for a living. Today I'm going to talk about what it's like to be an animator and make video games. I've been doing it for quite a long time now. So let's get into it. What does an animator do? They make that guy move on the screen above me. They add blinks, they add head turns, they add subtle motions, they add breathing. I'm going to click the talk line here.
I don't have all the details, but it sounds like Spacer's Choice tried to outmaneuver Auntie Cleo through quasi-legal means and got a hell of a lot more than they bargained for. Now her new brand's been turned into an invasion force bent on conquering the entire system.
So
funny how life works out.
You done, Niles? Cool. Okay, so somebody put all those motions on him. Somebody did the lips and the dialogue. We took the VO from our actors, and then we had some. Sometimes it's an animation that already existed that we're placing on that guy. Sometimes it's custom for that character. That's a big part of what Obsidian does because we are a conversation role-playing based games studio most of the time. Another big part of what game animators do is the gameplay. Typically you'll see it called gameplay animator. Someone's got to do the walk animations and the turning animations. Someone's got to do player animations and weapon animations and fight people and all that stuff. That's what game animators are spending most of their time doing. If that's interesting to you, you should look into this because it's a fun career. I've enjoyed myself while I've been doing it. I want to jump and show where I work. If you're interested, it's a good tip. If you're interested in a career in video games in general or animation specifically, find a game studio that you're interested in. Look up where they're located. The studio's websites often will tell you. Obsidian Entertainment is where I work. It's in Irvine. So if you're local to Orange County, it's possibly a place you might want to look at potential careers at. We are always hiring something. It's not always an animator, but you can see down at the bottom here there's 4 open positions, and if you're interested in senior area designer, you can look that up, figure out what kind of courses in college you might need to do, what kind of personal work you might need to do to start showing that you know how to do this job so you can come work with us. We're always looking for good people, so please feel open to making games for a living. It's very fun. I'll also say that I've been doing it for a long time. I got an opportunity to teach an animation class at Irvine Valley College, which is a community college. I like the concept of community colleges. I'm very proud to be working there and teaching a class. One class every semester. I've been doing it for a while. So when you get close to the end of high school and you're a local Orange County person, I would look up the Interactive Media Arts program at Irvine Valley College and check us out, because it doesn't hurt much, because it doesn't cost that much to take these classes. And if you like it, then you can go to a bigger school that costs a lot more money and maybe get a more complex education than what a community college typically offers. But you will learn a lot here, so keep that as an option. Next thing on the list, if you're any kind of visual artist, you're going to want to figure out how to do an art website that shows off your work. If you look me up, you can find my website that covers some of the games that I did: Outer Worlds, Pillars of Eternity, Tyranny, some personal projects, some figure drawing that I do. You can get a sense for what I did in college, how maybe I landed a job at eventually at Obsidian, and what I've been doing since. You can look up most people who are visual artists in film and in games. A lot of us have websites, a lot of us have demo reels. So if you just Google the name of the person that is doing the job that you want to do, it'll pop up so much good information on how to maybe do that for yourself one day as a career. Currently I work hybrid, so sometimes at home, sometimes at work. This is at home. You can see it's a house behind me. We're going to jump over to Obsidian Entertainment. I'll show you my office and a little bit there, and then I'll see you in a second. Alright, this is the front entrance to Obsidian Entertainment, and in this main area we've got a bunch of posters on the games we did and some of the awards we got. Well, we'll give tours through the studio pretty often, but it is pretty fun to walk through here. This is just a quick rundown. Bethesda gave this to us a while ago for doing Fallout New Vegas. And then here's the last group of stuff. All right, let's jump inside. All right, right inside you get the main conference room where we have a bunch of meetings and a big screen where we play the games and review stuff on. And then we like to decorate our walls with cool murals, make it a more interesting place to visit. And then my office is right in here. This is where I do most of my work. Got a whiteboard to write stuff down on. Bob Ross to say hello to. There's my desk. And then I keep a lot of props, like I have a sledgehammer, an axe, some toy guns, some sticks and stuff, just to help me like act out various things I need to animate.
All right, time to get to the good stuff. This is Maya. This is what animation's generally made at in feature film or in games in 2026. There are other softwares, but this is a big one. What I'm playing with right now is what's called a control rig. That's where all these controls are that lets me mess around with the character and make tweaks and adjustments. Like maybe I don't like how his knee is going, and in Maya, I can scrub the animation, I can look at it manually, I can press play, I can change the playback speed, I can look for areas that maybe there's too much wobble here, I can grab that weapon and make some adjustments, adjust the feet. This is a fun toolbox to build your anims off of. Once that's done, I'll take this, export it, bring it into Unreal Editor, and I'll bring it into as an animation sequence. This lets me preview the guy. The joints is the thing I'm actually animating. The mesh is just what's playing on top of it because we can swap meshes out with different things on the same anim. I can make sure everything worked, everything came in. There's a bunch of settings on animations you got to learn how to use and get used to. Just check all that stuff, and then once I'm happy with that, hook it up into the game. Jump into a test map. This test map is set up by a combat designer, most likely, or a technical designer, because we have to have ways to quickly test our animations that we're making. I'm going to spawn 2 Crabbles in this combat area over here, and I'm going to add my companion Tristan, so he's going to follow me around and help me if I get into trouble. Full screen this puppy. Go get in a fight. Hi, Crabbles. Take some bullets. Yeah, okay, here we go. So now I can watch him do his various attacks, and more or less I gotta watch it a bunch of times to see when I can see that animation fire. I can do stuff like set slow-mo 0.1 and see this action in slow motion, and like Tristan's playing a hit reaction. They both hit each other. That was kind of cool. Do it a little faster so I can see stuff. If I get to a pose I like, I can hit pause. Maybe I want to look into this, figure out what's going on. I can jump out of the player character, click on the character, and then I can go to their animation blueprint. This is where all the logic is stored that is controlling what animation plays at what time, because any character in any game is playing potentially hundreds, if not 1,000 animations, and it's picking from a pool of things and using this giant complex tree of logic. It's just a visual representation of more or less code. And you can build all this without being a programmer. So you can track this and figure out and try and debug what is going on and where's that animation and how does it look. And I can change things and tweak things and change the logic on when animations are triggered. It is all a lot of fun, in my opinion. And this is the sort of bread and butter of what it means to be an animator. That's pretty much it for the studio. Let's jump over to the classroom where I teach animation. I'll see you guys in a second.
All right, here's a quick tour of this part of IVC's campus. That's the performing arts dance area. This is a brand new building. That's the art gallery. And this is the visual arts building, which is all these classes down here. And then the game class is right in here. If you want to take a college course on how to animate, you can go to IVC's website. All the students will pick these chairs. I'll usually hang out over there and randomly talk about stuff. And then I'll play some stuff up there. I'll do demos. I'll do all sorts of things. All right, cool. Thanks for hanging out. I'll see you guys later. Bye.